Hello everyone and welcome to Crochet Day by Day with me, Nadej, where I take you on my crochet adventures, mostly experiments, and share some stories. Today I wanted to venture into something that I haven't done before. Most of this channel is currently things I have not done before, and that's to make pillow covers. I recently got some new throw pillows because I thought, okay, my old pillows, they're kind of gross and just old, really. You wash them, they're fine, but I was like, okay, I'll get new ones and then throw these out. And then I was like, wait a minute, I love all the pillows, so why don't I use some yarn that I have left over from projects and make some pillow covers. Okay, so you can see these pillows. That's a new one. There's our baby who just got fixed. It's the dog infirmary. There's the other two. Other dog. So instead of getting rid of these, I just want to make some covers. And that's what we're gonna do. So sadly, I did run out of yarn, but that's okay. That just means I have to go buy some more. Darn it, right? So I'm gonna go get some more yarn, but I also decided that I think I want to just make kind of like all the color pillowcases, or pillow covers I should say, because I'm gonna have them fold over like envelopes. So kind of, you know how you have those sham pillows where you just kind of have to force the pillow in and then it covers and latches? That's my plan here. And I am going to get some other colors. I think I'll get like a gray and a green or something. I don't know. But how about we go to the store together and get some yarn? Let's go.
And here we are with the obligatory watching the feet walk into the store. We are at Hobby Lobby. I was feeling really brave here. I grabbed my cart with some extreme confidence. We're rolling through. And then we get to the yarn and there were people in the aisle. I literally freaked out. I was feeling so good and they crushed my confidence. That's okay though. I ended up getting the yarn that I was looking for, an additional yarn too. I got real scared though when I was recording, and then as you can see I dropped my phone by my purse and was like, okay, let's get the heck out of here. Off to Michael's we go. It had rained between the trips. It was a hot rain. But here we are in the happy aisle of yarn at Michael's. I didn't have a cart at first. I was just here to look around. And there we go. I decided I needed to buy some yarn. All of a sudden I had a million ideas.
Okay, so this is about 19 inches. Let's make sure it's the same on the other side. It's not. It's 17, so 19 by 17. But also I need to know around, because I want to make an envelope kind of thing so that I can kind of fold it in on itself. So let's see here. This side, okay, this is 17 inches. I'm gonna call it 17. And if I want to do like a 3-fold, I need to make this 45 inches long. Okay, and I'm gonna make it 19 inches wide. And I'm pretty sure that's the same for all of them. I'm gonna double check. So 19 inches wide and 45 inches long is what we're gonna do here.
So of course I needed to get these pillows a little freshened up before we could actually put these cases on them. So here's my little fuzz eater thing. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but watching it get rid of all the fuzz on these pillows is actually really satisfying. I had a lot of fun doing this. Me and my fiance kind of made a bit of a morning of it, and we got all the fuzz off of these pillows so that we can make them super extra nice with pillow covers. don't remember what this is called, but I will try to find it and link it in the description down below. Now, of course, just gonna wash these pillows. Going to shove them all in here. Luckily, all 4 do fit. They're not gigantic, but I mean, we know the dimensions here. So, of course, washing these pillows here, we're going to do a delicate cycle so the washing machine doesn't go bonkers. Now they're done. This is obviously very clear what I'm doing here, just throwing them in the dryer. Again, drying on a delicate cycle so that they just don't get destroyed. And now we have them all laid out, all beautiful, all clean. And I have every pillow cover ready. So I'm just fitting them here real quick just to see how they look. Personally, I think they look very, very, very cool here. And I am in love with this. So what I'm doing now, Ruby, that's our dog Ruby, I am basically just tying these together, well, pinning them together with stitch markers so that when I go in and do the single crochet seam, it's easy for me to just keep them together. We freaking did it! We made pillow covers. All right. It's obviously been a few days since, you know, the costume changes here. So I wanted to show you the final product, and I am so thrilled with what I made here. So I did 4 different patterns, I guess you could say. Some were simpler than others, and it was a lot of fun. Very time consuming. I think I set myself up to like just be able to do it quickly, but it didn't fully turn out that way. But let's start with the first pillow. This is a Suzette stitch. I made every single one the same length and width because I just knew that that's what I needed for each pillow because they are the same size technically. So this is a Suzette stitch, and each one I just did a single crochet down the seam here and made like an envelope so that when you take it out, it just folds right back in. Kind of like one of those sham pillows, you know, those decorative sham pillows. You know what I'm talking about, right? So that's essentially how these work, and it's awesome because you can just take them off and wash them. That's easy. So I will show you how I did the Suzette stitch. Okay, so I thought I got video of me recording this, but basically what I did to get the length that I needed, which was 19 inches, is I chained out 70 chains. Now, with the Suzette stitch, what you want to do with this here, you can kind of see me working through this already, but it's kind of a fun, interesting stitch where you skip a stitch, you do a single crochet and a double crochet into the same stitch, you skip a stitch, a single crochet, double crochet, skip a stitch. So that's what I'm doing here. This is done in multiples of 2, so basically an even number. And I did my second chain from the hook was a single crochet and then a double crochet in the same space, skip a stitch. Now we're at the end of the first row, and what we're going to do here, well, we have 2 stitches remaining. We're going to skip that one stitch and then double crochet into the last stitch. Then we're going to turn our work. We're going to single crochet, double crochet, skip a stitch, single crochet, double crochet, skip a stitch. Now, to make this easy, you just single crochet, double crochet in each double crochet of the chain before, or the row before. And now you can see kind of how this looks. The next one here is the waffle stitch. That is really cool looking, don't you think? And it's yellow like one of those toaster waffles, Eggo waffles. On the back, I did do a linen stitch or moss stitch just because I didn't want like the texture all the way around on this one. Same thing, I single crocheted down the seams, and it has the same kind of like envelope sham type thing. So I'll show you how I did the waffle stitch. Okay, so for the waffle stitch, I changed the same exact amount of chains as I did for the Suzette stitch. So 70 chains for the waffle stitch. Now we are going to start in the second chain from the hook, and we're going to we're going to do a double crochet. You can do a yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through two, yarn over, pull through two, and then we're going to chain all the way down till we get to the end of the row. Double crochet into the last stitch. Then we're going to chain two. This is also done in multiples, well, not also done, but it's done in a multiple of 3 plus 2. So actually, looking at this, my notes right now, I chained 72 plus 2, then you double crochet in the fourth chain from the hook. Now that we're already in the second row, we're chaining 2. We're going to count that first chain 2 as a stitch, okay? Now, we're going to yarn over and do a front post double crochet. So you're going under, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay? Then we're going to double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So you're skipping the one that was behind the front post double crochet because we already crocheted into that stitch technically. So 2 double crochet, then another front post double crochet. You're going to go under the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. 2 double crochet, you skip the chain or the stitch behind you. 2 double crochet here, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, and the same right here. And you're going to follow that all the way until the end of this row. Front post double crochet, front post double crochet. Now when we get to the end of the row, you're going to, in the last stitch, do a double crochet. Now you can see the texture kind of forming here. And what you're going to do now is chain 2, turn your work. Now we have to do the opposite of what we just did. So we're going to crochet, double crochet into that first stitch. And then you're going to front post double crochet the next 2 stitches. As you can see, there's kind of bumps, so it's easier to tell on when you need to front post double crochet and just regular double crochet into the next stitch. As you can see here, I'm kind of showing you along the way. And now we're finally, gotta move that yarn apart, doing that front post double crochet, front post double crochet. Here we go, get in there. There it is. And just a regular double crochet into the next stitch. You're going to repeat this all the way to the end of the row, chain 2, and then it's a 2-row repeat. So you end up just reversing each row every time you go, from row to row here. It's pretty easy on this one to figure out when to do the front post and when to do a regular double crochet. And as you can see here, we've got some pretty nice texture on this one. It's looking pretty cool. Looks like a waffle. Waffle. There you go, baby. This next one is kind of like the waffle stitch, but it is called the rice stitch. Now I combined 2 different threads or 2 different yarns to get this look, just a light blue and a dark blue, and then I
used a large hook, a 10mm hook, and made the rice stitch. And on the back, I did just a double crochet with the same kind of envelope type thing here, and single crochet down the side with yarn to kind of hold it in. So I'll show you how I did the rice stitch.
Okay, so I am combining two yarns here, and I'm getting my largest hook that I have, which is a 10mm, making that slip knot. And because this is such a large hook, I don't have to chain as many as the other pillows, or the pillow covers, I should say. So for the rice stitch, I actually chained 41. So you need an odd number of stitches for the rice stitch. So that was for me 41. Now, what you're doing here, if you couldn't tell, is in the third chain from the hook, we're going to do a double crochet. Okay, we're going to double crochet into each chain all the way to the end of the row. I like to go in the back loops on all of my foundation chains, because if I'm going to go back in and do a single crochet border or any kind of border, it's just easier to get those stitches. So here we are in the last stitch. Of course, it isn't focusing, but bear with me. Looks pretty cool. I really like the way that this turned out. So here we're going to chain one. Oh, there we go, chain one. And then turn our work. And then what you want to do here is you're going to start and end each row with a half double crochet. So we are going to start this row with a half double crochet into that first stitch. We're going to yarn over, insert your hook, pull through, and then you're going to pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Now here's where we're going to get our texture. Just like the waffle stitch, we're going to do a front post double crochet into this next stitch. There we go, front post double crochet. And then we're going to do a back post double crochet. So that's a yarn over here, and then you're going to go from the back to the front, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And you're going to go back and forth between the front post double crochet and the back post double crochet until you get to the last stitch in your row. So I'm going to do another back post. These ones are a little tricky. You kind of have to hold the yarn a little differently. But I'm going to do that all the way to the end of this row. Now I'm in my last stitch. We're going to half double crochet, since that is what we should be ending on here. We can see some really cool texture coming in. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to put a half double crochet into that first stitch. Remember, we're going to start and end with a half double crochet. Yarn over, insert your hook into that first stitch, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. If I can get there. I'm gonna get it. Alright. Oh, got it. Whew. And as you can see, you just alternate rows, so you'll know that you'll have a back post and a front post as you go through this stitch, just like the waffle stitch. It's very clear which one is which. You just start and end with a half double crochet every row.
And last but not least, I made this last one, and it was a pain. Like, it's really pretty. It's the Alpine stitch. And it looks really nice. I like the texture to it,
but I had to undo it 3 times because I wasn't counting the stitches properly. I wasn't counting at first, and then it was doing this like weird like wavy thing on the sides, and you know you don't want that. You know you did something wrong if you're getting those waves. So I undid it 3 times. 3 times. This was such a pain in the butt. And I had to use a stitch counter. There's one of those things you put on your finger and you kind of push the button every time you complete a stitch to help you count the stitches. So, either way though, this turned out beautiful, and I'll show you exactly how I did that. Okay, for this stitch, I am actually, well, not stitch, this pattern for this pillow cover, I am going to chain 55. This requires a multiple of 2 plus 1. That extra one is essentially your turning chain. You need room to turn your work and add those stitches. Then what we're going to do here is in the second chain from the hook, we're going to single crochet. Again, I like to go in those bumps if I can even get into the bump. There it is. Single crochet into that back bump, and we're just going to do this all the way to the end of the row. Pretty easy peasy. You should then end up with 54 stitches. Good to count, trust me. This was really challenging for me. Now that we're at the end of the row here, I'm going to struggle to get this single crochet into that last stitch because that one is always a bit tight. And I'm going to then chain 2 and turn my work. So this chain 2 actually counts as a double crochet. So we're not going to go into that first one right there. We're actually going to go into the next one. And wouldn't you know, this makes this easy enough, right? We're going to double crochet into each stitch all the way to the end of the row. Pretty simple here, or it should be. I mean, let's talk about muscle memory here. Double crochet, all the way to the end of the row. Now that we're here, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And we're going to make a single crochet into that first stitch. And then I'm not sure if you figured this out. I did mess up there. I always want to yarn over. We're going to single crochet into every stitch until the end of the row yet again. Don't worry, it's about to get really exciting. All right. So what I've done here, I had a little hiccup when I was editing this, but I did a chain 2, turned my work, and then that first chain 2 does count as a double crochet. Then we're going to front post double crochet into that next stitch. It's easy enough to see. And then we're going to double crochet into the following stitch. And then we're going to front post into the next stitch. And we're just going to alternate between those two until we get to the end of the row. So again, double crochet into that stitch. And then our front post double crochet. Sometimes I got to spread the yarn apart just to really find that stitch, which is totally fine. The yarn is, you know, it'll bounce back, We're just going to do that until the end of the row. Now that we're at the end of the row, we're going to do a double crochet into the last stitch, okay? This is where my work started to get a little funky, but you can see that texture coming in. Now we're going to chain 1, and this should be easy. This is definitely the easier part. You're going to single crochet into every stitch in this row. So we're going to be alternating here. It's a 4-row repeat on this pattern. You're going to single crochet and then front post double crochet and so on. So last stitch, single crochet. We're going to do our chain 2, which in this row, row 6, does not count as a stitch. Or it does count as a stitch. Then you're going to skip that first one and double crochet into the first one, because this is how we're going to get our texture. And then you're going to skip that front post double crochet from the row below and go into the next double crochet and do a front post double crochet. You're going to make sure you skip that stitch behind it and double crochet into the next stitch, and alternate between double crochet and front post double crochet until the end of the row. And it's just, as I say, as simple as that, which this took me forever, but it turned out beautiful. I love the texture. It's elegant. It's very nice. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to go ahead and actually link some tutorials to the stitches that I used down below, because those are probably going to be better than the ones I just showed you. And it was a lot of fun. I definitely recommend making your own pillow covers. I decided to not throw out the old pillows when I got some bigger throw pillows, because I was like, wait a minute, I have all this yarn that I just keep adding to this collection. Why don't I just use some stuff from it? And this is what it turned into, and I'm really happy with it. The yarn is really soft, the pillows just look rejuvenated, and it kind of adds just a little more fun to the couch. But yeah, this was a fun project. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a really wonderful day today, and I will see you next time.